Well, hello again, friends. Welcome to a relatively early Friday afternoon stream for me. Thanks for joining if you are. Hopefully this is working. Delay does not help. But yes, like we're all good. Hey, YouTube, welcome back to Jacqueline Cochran Regional. And as I put in the description, this has turned into a sort of random regional tour of the USA. Get our request in.
Welcome to Hot Start Flight Support. How can we help you today?
Hello again, Jenny. November 604 Papa Sierra is what I'm taking. Our estimated time of departure should be in an hour's time to give us loads of time. Set up out at 16:30 Zulu, 9:30 local. So why break the habit of a lifetime? Maybe early. The packs may be a little bit early. Why don't we get them arriving then, just in case we are early? We are going to need some jet. I don't know if we can get ground power unit here. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to try and get just trying to get the FAA supplement. For the airport to see if there's anything more I can get. Jepson is pretty scant because I'd like to know if we can actually get a GPU. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to request a GPU, and well, I can request one, can't we? At least gets it out in the airplane. Or do I download the FAA Southwest Chart Supplement? Let's open that up. Search for KTRM. Find on page. There we go. KTRM. One match. There we go. Jacqueline Cochran Regional. Services S4. Oh, great. What is that? Oxygen 234. You know what? I think they've probably got a fair amount of services, so why don't we get a GPU? Do our bit for the environment, especially in California. Shouldn't need any ice or anything else. So we're doing crew. There we go. 3 max 7.
Of course, Captain. I'll get that organized for you right away.
Thanks very much. Let's head out to the jet back where we left it. I think I did a little bit of tweaking to this airport, but it's a challenge to fix it properly. And here we are. Like I said, whoever did it before did a good job. But things like red taxiway lights on this pan, I'm sure they don't exist. Maybe I didn't do that much tweaking. Like I said, it's not bad effort, but all of these aeroplanes sat around, okay, that one's fine, but these should really be dynamic parking spots. Anyway, the aeroplane is chocked. Double check the icing data ref. There is no ice. Over 30 frames. Like a glorious California day. So, open up the door. And I want to connect to VATSIM. Shouldn't be anyone else around. And we'll enter the flight plan. So in brief, that's running 3 days. So we can close that. The trees are a bit poor. The Ortho looks like it's working. Those wonderful hills. Amazing place. I'm sure it's much more spectacular in real life. Let's head. Uh-oh. There we go. cabin shades. I mentioned the seating. I've seen ones, real ones with 3 physical seats, but 4 sets of belts, I think. Tell from the photos. So maybe you can squeeze 1 extra aeroplane configuration. I think that what pops out of here is actually a jump seat, so third crew member can sit here. Right. So, there's our aeroplane. We'll look at all the circuit breakers before we jump into the seats. Okay, we'll put the panel on. Test on all of those, and there. As far as good. Hop into our seat. As always, if you are watching, I appreciate I've changed the times for this a few times. Please say hi in chat. So, circuit breakers checked. Batteries available. Levels driving up. Overhead switches. What are we looking for? That's in which other ones? All looks okay. All the electrical switches are on. Those steering down here is off. Landing gear lever is down. Doesn't move on the ground. Light spoiler is retracted. Matches my hardware. Flaps match. They match the outside. Landing gear manual release down here is stowed, as is the ADG and the lamp test. Docs, passports, etc. we can't do. Safety equipment we can't really do. External check. Well, we've got the nose gear pin, so we'll rub that in between. So, just been hooked up to ground power, which is nice. Battery master comes on. DC page there, 22 volts minimum, 5 until the warnings. They look sensible. Go down here and we can do the RX 1 and 2, APU 2, warning.
Jet pipe overheat.
2, 3 red,
Jet
3
pipe
green,
overheat.
5 reds,
Jet pipe overheat.
and the oral. 1, there we go. Fail. 2, 3, 4, 5 caution. 3 days. That in mind, we the nav lights on. Take AC power externally. It's up, which is so TRUs of all, which I'm looking separately. See those here. The batteries are charging 26 volts, 0 current being drawn. See their bus, essential bus, bus 2, internal power. 3 days.
Flight compartment checklist. AC and DC electrics.
TRUs are online, normal voltage, and load, yes. DC buses are powered and lit. Chargers operating, yes, we did that. And the AC electrical voltage, frequency, and loads. Checked.
Nav lights, logo light.
Lights on, logo lights required.
Cockpit lights.
Bright.
Lamp test.
So, is still totalizing. Just be there. Not using the APU, so otherwise I'd add maybe another 200 fuel. Our block fuel is 5199. It's got quite a significant. Got 15 minutes extra. Long bit for taxi. So 5200. Take away 3680. 815. 20. Divide that by the density in a moment. So we did the lab test. That's on pounds. Right in a minute. Excuse my cough there. I even moved the microphone out of the way. Did not work. So just waiting for the fuel guy before we do anything else. Test, couldn't we?
All right,
Christmas
fuel
tree.
truck is hooked up. Just let me know how much fuel you need. Or would you like to go tanks full today?
Well, you tell me the density, buddy, which is 6.671. Gives us 227. 5. Sounds like 230 to me.
All right, I'm gonna go start up the pump.
That's kind of it. So, let's see that he does. Open up the valves. There we go. Quick shut off test. Works. And we're fueling.
Duct monitor.
Bleed air duct.
1 oral, 4 switch
Bleed
lights,
air duct.
5 warnings,
Bleed air duct.
1 green duct test OK. A green, B green.
FMS database status.
We're close to air rack, so we go recycle that.
FMS flight plan uplink, HOTAS.
Well, we can certainly do that, can't we? Menu, flight plan recall. A very short flight plan today. And via data link, weather. So we'll do KTRM, our destination, K. Send those. By our flight plan. So let's check that route. Firstly, the destination. Correct, we're going Porterville, Muni. Looks like a fun little place. There's a nice cafe there. So we're going to Old Springs VOR.
Refueling is complete, Captain. Do you need anything else?
Victor 386, EMD direct TTE, which is actually used. So, 5160. You've asked for 52. It's still going up and flagging. Fine. Thanks very much.
Okay, just one quick signature on here, and I'll be on my way.
$1,200 worth of fuel. 523. I think. I don't know if the. No, I don't know if the cost is actually modelled. If Toto comes on, try and remember to call him. because it's sure cheaper somewhere else, but it's full service. It'd be good if there is data online. It'd be good if it pulled it for all of them. It might actually do it. I told me to shut up if I'm wrong, but it'd be good if it gave you the real price of the fuel, or at least the latest price that you could find.
Here's a copy for your records. Have a nice day.
Very kind. So the route's correct. And date that. And we've got our weather. But we don't have flight plan bit. ATIS. Nobody's online.
Anti-skid.
Push test. Anti-skidding test. Data link. There. That go away. I check it.
Nose door.
So at this point we need to check that clear. That way.
Hydraulic 3A pump.
So we are looking at 15 degrees C for all the hydraulics, 73%, 68, 67. And we can stay on.
Brake pressure.
Wait for that to build up to 3000 psi. Brakes 2950. Cold. God, we just had it. There we go, 3000 psi.
Parking brake.
Brakes set.
Nose door.
So this is the nose door closed. So let's go out. The rest of the walk around. We'll whip those chocks out. I assume the aircraft is going to carry a nose chock. That's interesting. I don't remember taking that out. Don't need to open the door because we've got the ground power plugged in. Not a bad place to put the switch. Why have two? Stick it in one. Covers off. Pins out. He's finished. I mean, it's probably a good point to do it after fueling. Make sure the hatches are all closed. Make sure he hasn't driven into the aeroplane. Or her. You could have a lady if you make sure that they have not. There's our quite nice livery. Stow all those pins. So the nose door is closed.
Hydraulic panel and pumps.
So we've done the temperatures, pressures. We go check them all. They will load up. We'll go green. No low pressure cautions. Do come on.
Electric panel.
So AC Gen 1, Gen 2 off.
AC DC utility switch.
On, light out.
Start ignition panel.
Off, checked.
Fuel panel.
3. You can just go around like that. Quicker to just do it, you know what you're looking for. Quite vocalize it.
APU LCV.
Not quite yet.
10th stage isolation valve.
All that.
Packs.
Can't have them on.
Air conditioning panel.
AC panel, so ram air switch light out, extinguished, guarded. Temperatures as required. It says the cabin is 16 degrees, so relatively comfortable, I would have thought. We had that down.
Pressurization panel.
So ICAS delta P is 0. Cabin altitude is approximately the airfield elevation. Well, we're slightly below sea level, indicating -200. Fan out centered and rate manual rated both off before light comes on. We're going to just loading the charts. Porterville Municipal. Sure which we can't use the VOR because it's US. The airfield elevation is 442. Out there will do, won't it? Let's have a look. Haven't looked at the weather, but I'll take flight plan. I know it was done a couple of hours ago. There was no forecast available. It's 3011. So close enough. Emergency depress out, guarded, extinguished, set, rate put in line.
Bleed air panel.
So once we do get the APU running, we want all of those on. It's off.
Supplemental ground wing anti-ice panel switch.
Which of course is down here. Out off. So anti-ice. So the supplemental ground wing anti-ice switch light is out. Up here we need to check that set to off, which it is.
Cal anti-ice switches.
Here we need to push these in, check for no anti-ice cautions. There are none. Now,
Anti-ice panel.
wing switch off, wing lights, left and right heat extinguished, right out. Windshields go to high. Test. 2, 3, 4 green. Back to off. But they do come back on. Ice detect. We get a ding and we get a caution. Overheat. 2.
Wing overheat.
1 warning.
Wing overheat.
Green.
Emergency lights.
So they are currently off, and it says emergency lights off. On. Emergency lights on. Go and check them. Can't do that, so on. No caution.
Passenger signs.
Passenger signs are off. They can stay off.
ELT.
Armed.
Glare shield panel.
Is there much to set? No, I'm happy with it as it is.
Crew and passenger oxygen.
Can't see if I get rid of that. No, didn't get rid of that. It's the 100 there. Can't do a mask check. Well, I mean, I know you can. But check is it?
DCU warning panel.
Out, extinguished, guarded.
CVR.
Test. Clean.
Audio panels.
Just about the right side, left side, mic one, com one.
SPS system.
So, as always, my favourite part. So, both stall switch pushers, both stall switches are on. Yes. Stab trim 1 in. Those all down. That is set 0. And then stab trim disconnect button. Stab trim warning. Flight control synoptic page you can see there. Simultaneously test left, test right. Install fail. Yes. Continue ignition A, B, cont. Warnings. Check the disk, stops it. Check it goes back. I'll do the G test. All information enunciation is clear.
Integrated standby instrument.
So we'll get the weather in a minute. The altimeter, but that looks on and serviceable. So automatic, no wind, 10 miles, 14.52 an hour ago, 999. The pressure hasn't changed much, and that would pretty much correspond with below sea level.
Clock.
Flight times reset, UTC is displayed.
EFIS, ICAS.
Checked. All appear to be serviceable. There's no crosses, etc.
Main landing gear bay overheat.
Is here.
Gear bay overheat.
One audio, one.
Gear bay
warning.
overheat.
That's the fail as well. Being one caution.
TOS warning switches.
They are all out. Testing.
Glide slope. Pull up. Wind shear, wind shear, wind shear. Terrain, terrain, pull up.
That's complete. And then the terrain radar comes on, so we'll turn it off so we don't kill people.
Pitch and roll disconnects.
In stowed.
Ground spoilers.
Auto.
Thrust reversers.
Checked. Armed.
Thrust levers.
One full set off to cut off.
Engine speed switches.
Both on.
Engine vibration check.
3.5 and stops. Vibration enunciated.
Oral warning.
They work.
Smoke detector.
Smoke.
On oral, two
Smoke.
cautions.
Smoke.
Thanks.
Trims. Mach trim.
So we do click, click. Stab 2. Disconnect. Back trim, stab trim. 1, 2. Stab 1. Disconnect. 2, 3. All off. Pitch for takeoff. We would do that based on what comes out of the FMC, but of course we cannot calculate that yet. So 5.8 to 6 seems to be working.
Yacht ampers.
On, no cautions.
Reversionary inhibit switches.
Out, extinguished, guarded, all set normal.
IRS.
Reset nav,
CPDLC.
on do,
TCAS.
and do.
TCAS system test OK.
ATIS and clearance.
Nobody online to get any of those, so we can't do those either.
FMS flight plan. Wind update. Perf.
So let's go perf in it. We are going to level 38. It's on the left side, delete that out. 5230 is what we've got. We wanted our alternate cruise to LAX is 270. And our zero fuel weight today should be 29250. VNav, we are 307.8. Transition level is correct. Doing an 8-2 cruise. Cruise out is correct. Transition level, E8 correct. 78. 300 descent. The temperature is 12 minutes. And there we go, our reserves.
Hello, Captain. It's Jenny from Hot Start Flight Support. Your passengers have arrived.
Oh dear.
Shall I have them brought to the plane?
No thanks.
Understood. Just call me when you're ready to receive them. Anything else?
No, that's it, thanks.
Always a pleasure. Take care.
So, our reserves, 45 minutes is 1371. 1500. Our estimated time of departure, I think we're going to be away before our departure of 16:05. And our planned taxi fuel is actually 225. So 200. See, that will of course update once we're on route. And we got loads of fuel even at our alternate. So I've got an extra 485 15 minutes. Now that we've done that, I think should be able to do an update. And perf we have done.
Takeoff data.
Takeoff data. So, for that we definitely need the weather. But do it again just in case it's updated. So it seems like I have an obsession with it, but should be on the changeover. So let's have a look at 1552. That's more like it. Always write down the time. It's an automatic report. 320 at 5. That was worth checking. 10 miles or greater. Sky clear. 20. Really? Aeroplane says 12. Dew point -1. 1000. So, what does Active Sky say? Hasn't updated yet. Interesting. So there's currently no wind. So I'm not going to give any credit for that wind. We are going to use runway 5. Might be a little bit of a crosswind, but that benefit. The takeoff distances. The runway is 8,500 feet long. Probably be able to go from Delta. But interestingly, it's not saying anything, so I will put 20 degrees in. PTV on arrival. No TAF, no PIREPS. Have to make do with what we've got. 150 at 5. Runway 12 would be 30 degrees off. And with the 5 knot tailwind, but might as well fit into the traffic pattern. So we can expect runway 12. So with that in mind, Mecca, ESP, might not actually fly this, and we're going to depart. Let me just double check to see if there's any notes that I can see, and I will definitely have to look at the service import remarks. Attended 1500 02 Zulu, last pad, phone numbers, Bossy airspace. Not a lot there. Apart from the dimensions, some pretty pictures of trees. So, take 3.5. I mean, it's a bit of a laugh saying we'll take 3.5 because it's longer. When otherwise directly into wind. If we don't take the full length, it's not going to kill us to taxi down to the end, is it? So that route actually gives us a departure that goes into a loop, heads out over Mecca and then turn back to the VOR. It's severe cav OK, and I'm pretty sure we've got the performance to be able to just take off straight to the VOR. So it's probably going to be a heading departure, and that is what we will do. Say arrival, expect GPS for 12, no stars, and will, although the VOR is US, this will be a point in space for the RNAV equipped aeroplane. So, how do we end up there climbing? That is the mist. Procedure turn. I'm going to create ourselves a base leg. Probably of a couple of miles. Might make it a bit tight. 3-2. 1-2 outbound, which of course we can't check. No PT from extra, I think, a little bit out of our way. Sorry, I'm just checking if I can find it. Oh, from extra, yeah, miles away. So we will do instead. And do Earth. Oh look, the temperature has just reportedly gone up, and so has the wind, so it's good to see that active sky. So I'm going to pop 20 in. There it is, and we have got that in sim, so 3.5, don't forget that's true. 501. Roughly correct, and you can see there 3486. Loads runway available, so we could arguably enable halfway. Go from Foxtrot 2 or Delta. Think about going Delta. We'll see. See how long it takes to get down there. Time gradient looks sufficient. I haven't looked through the obstacle departures. Straight up the valley and note everything else.
Avionics and charts.
Just discussed.
Flight instruments.
So flight instruments, we are actually going to be departing FMS. We're not going to follow that guidance. It's going to be a heading departure. Let's do the toga button. We've got M1TO, TOTO, flight directors come alive. So the runway heading is 7. In. We have the Mecca 1 departure, which we're not quite going to follow. What's the initial climb? It doesn't tell me as far as I can see. What I really need is 4,000 for leg direct. So we're essentially going to do runway heading and then left turn, set 304 inbound. That needs at least 4.1. The MSA, though, in the sector we're going to is 10.9. Oh no, what am I talking? 11.8. So quite high because of the terrain either side. It's arguably going to be a VFR departure, but we'll have ample climb to get airways by Palm Springs. It's 20. So I am going to tune up PSP, VOR1, PSP, 162 on AV2. And we want 4. So we may go direct. I think we've got scope. Just go direct. But I'm going to put that in. Switch to VOR1. It's going to give me the nav message. So we're going to cut out that departure, which would take us round to Mecca, back to the VOR. No, just don't do it. So those are all set up. VOR1 for departure. We are send the speeds through. We're not speed limited. There's no speeds on this departure, and reading the manuals, you can set 10 knots lower because yes, can be low and allowed. We're allowed to do it. So pick off. There's the V speed. 155 map. Acceleration. V speeds have been sent. 200's bugged. Take off. Not going to arm nav. We're going to intercept manually. Why don't I actually set 12,000? Clear of everything. I'll set 12.1 just in case anyone comes online. Don't think they do. Controllers, I mean. BSI is 0, airfield elevation is -114, and that's about what we've got. 2999 set, 9 set. Temperature is gradually climbing.
Departure briefing.
We've discussed we are just going to go direct to Palm Springs or at least set 304.
Emergency procedures.
GIP.
Pins, covers, chocks. Cabin lights, water heaters, Master seat. Flight compartment checklist complete. Engine start checklist next.
So, let's get the APU started, shall we? Seconds pushed in. Starts illuminated. Start the timer. 20 degrees out. Cooler, not much. 20 degrees in the cabin, I should say. It should be. Takeoff minimums we really don't have to worry about today. They're down to about our visibility, and you can see severe cav OK. APU gen off. Our power's out. Give it until 3 minutes and we won. Punters.
Hot Start Flight Support, Jenny speaking. How can we help?
Hi Jenny, please bring the passengers.
Understood. They'll be there in a couple of minutes. Anything else?
Nope, that's it, thanks.
Always a pleasure. Take care.
So I could argue I've done it a little bit better than quicker. Did I say 2 minutes or 3 minutes for air? I forget. Well, there's 2 minutes. I think it's 2 for this one. On, all off. Max on. PU EGT goes up. That bleed air demand. Not going to mess about with the cabin announcement screen because that killed the sim last time. Worth noting the APU start time as well, just good habit to write all these things down because there are some places where you may shouldn't be an issue for us. Look on the old VATSIM rate. I wonder sure my flight plan was filed.
Hello, Captain. How are you today?
I'm really well, thanks.
That's great to hear. Well, we're all set back there, so we can get going anytime.
Brilliant. So, settle in. I'll send my flight plan because it is not stored. That's done. Should load up. So,
Engine start checklist. Doors. Closed. Parking brake and pressure. Checked and set. Fuel quantity and balance.
20 pounds. It's within.
Beacon.
So, of course, we would call up and ask for start, because I'm a legend. Out on.
On. Fuel boost pumps. On. Ignition.
Bit of Bravo
Armed.
today.
Engine 2 start.
So we still have a chock in which we need to remove before we put the wheel steering on. Start engine number 2, we will ask. Thumbs up. 1623. Start engine 2. N2 is rising, oil pressure is rising. 20%. M1's turning. ITT is less than 120. Fuel on. Fuel flow increases. ITT increases. Pressure increasing.
Fuel system.
So pop those both out, wait for them to come on, then look for left low fuel pressure. Just the left-right cautions. Left low pressure. Of course, what I haven't done are those.
Engine 1 start.
So again, signal, press start 1, thumbs up, start engine number 1. N2's turning, oil pressure is rising, 20% less than 120 ITT, M1's turning, fuel flow increases, ITT increases, pressure's increasing.
Engine start checklist complete. After start checklist, next.
So, brakes on, chocks out please. Thumbs up.
After start checklist. Generator 1 and 2.
So check AC, they are available but offline, so the engine's blue, APU's blue because they're running, APU gen's green, those on.
On, checked AC and DC. Ignition.
Checked. AC's checked, green.
Disarmed. Packs. On. 14th stage. Open. Cowl anti-ice. On, check 45 seconds. Flight controls.
Go full forward, full aft, full left, full run, full left rudder, right rudder.
Ground spoilers.
So auto, nothing, disarm, nothing. Arm deployed. Back to auto and they retract.
Flight spoilers.
Go max, they will come out, we go half, flight goes to half, stowed, they go in.
Cal anti-ice.
So advisory green, yes. We are on.
Supplemental ground wing anti-ice.
Down here,
Test on. Fuel balance.
40 pounds within.
Trims.
1, 2, 3, set.
No steer. Armed. APR.
APR 1. Enunciated. Go on test OK. 2. APR enunciated. APR 2 testing.
ADG unit.
Is down. Light out.
Supplemental ground wing anti-ice.
Waiting for that bad boy.
Cal anti-ice.
Out, out.
Off. Wing anti-ice.
Off.
North. 14 stage isolation valve. Wing anti-ice.
Do green. Wing anti-ice on. Yellow N2. Yeah, 2 green. Anti-ice on. Yellow N2. Stand by and do it again.
Checked. Off. ATS. N1 TO. ATC TCAS. After start checklist complete. Taxi checklist next.
So, chart up. There's the airport. Cochrane Regional Traffic, Prefect 99, taxiing via Alpha at Foxtrot. Boarding point Delta, runway 35. Cochrane Regional Traffic.
Taxi checklist. Taxi lights. On. Wing and Cal anti-ice.
Not required.
Brakes and steering.
So we've checked clear left and right, brakes off. The steering is full and free. The brakes work. Always best to check those immediately. Already checked the rudder. Definitely need a marshaller to help us out of here.
Reverse thrust.
So get into a straight line. Vessel 1. Deployed. Stowed. Vessel 2. Deployed. Stowed.
If taxiing the de-ice, pause checklist here until a paper de-ice checklist is complete. Flaps. 20. Altimeters. Set and cross-checked. Radar weather. On. Takeoff briefing.
We have discussed, I've got the terrain radar on. See, that's an interesting picture, isn't it?
Taxi checklist complete. Before takeoff checklist next.
Even with idle and even relatively heavy, in the back, we are speed. Why not just spill the champagne? So, hopefully, X-Plane 12 will handle the orthos and get rid of the flat texture and then the airport textures. Quite nice around the airport boundary at least. feather it out elsewhere if you are using them. Didn't do was record the time we left, which is probably about 20 minutes. These are the things that you get out of the habit of doing. Writing down such trivial items. Foxtrot 2, I think. No, we might as well just go from Delta. We could go from Foxtrot 2. If I measured it. See that right next to the VOR, which is just over to our right. The needle swinging around there. There'd be a runway ahead, hold Delta, something Arthur 30 maybe.
Before takeoff checklist. Passenger signs. Advised on. Anti-collision light. On. Probes. On. Windshield heat. On. Wing and cowl anti-ice.
Not recording.
Continuous ignition. On. ATC TCAS. TARA. Supplemental ground wing anti-ice panel. Checked. CAS. Takeoff config OK.
Checked.
Landing pulse recog lights. On. Before takeoff checklist complete. After takeoff checklist next.
Auckland Regional Traffic, Prefect 99 taking off runway 35 direct Palm Springs. Traffic. So I don't think they'd have all this lighting here. I do. Anyway, it's 1634. 5030. Going. Oh, there you go, boards. 6,000 to go. So ASI's reading. There's V1. There's rotate. Onto the flight director. Maintain runway heading. So safe height, safe speed 400. Safe speed. Flaps up. Do a left turn. Bit of an intercept there.
After takeoff checklist. Landing gear.
Oh. That's because we don't get that positive rate call. Too worried about flaps and everything else. Jeez, that's terrible.
Up. Flaps. 0. Thrust reversers. Off. Ignition. Off. Pressurization. Checked. Pax transition. Completed. N1. Climb set. APU generator. Off. APU. Shutdown. Passenger signs.
We're going to leave them on for the moment.
CAS.
Checked clear.
After takeoff checklist complete.
Go up, please. We're in heading. Not quite sure why that went off. On instep track. No, we're not. So let's tidy those legs up. How do I do that? Do it on go direct. And then we will sort our life out. We don't want to capture. Speed up, that was messy. So APU and stuff is off, of 10, it's off, pressure's checked, I haven't really messed about with the FMC, which should be on the instant track. Well, that wasn't as good as I'd planned. Definitely need that positive rate call for gear up. Going overhead the VOR. And off on. Arch wasn't too bad. Relatively smooth. Relatively. Maybe I should have set the 3000 flight level 380 then we're off. Caused angst amongst our passengers. So I'm not going to tune the dual VOR 109.2 because it's US. Let's check the NOTAMs. It's a nice view, isn't it? Spectacular mountains. Dusty and deserty, but still spectacular. Dry desert. Nevada's quite nice. Dry desert. Coolish in the summer. Never really more than 30 degrees. Hardly ever snows. So nice and dry. Good for your bones as you get older. So I did highlight the NOTAMs. System available. So at Porterville, pilot controlled lighting, high intensity, best front lighting, and ID lights, best. I don't know if that's both. But VOR or GPS Alpha. There a GPS Alpha? Yeah, cannot be used. VOR portion not available because the VOR is out of service, so can't use that. But what it does mean is you could use the GPS portion, so you could make that approach using GPS. But it counts as a circle to land because it's so far offset. So we are looking at GPS for runway 12. As I said, it's going to take us to Labro, overhead the VOR, which we're not going to tune US. Obviously it won't be US in the sim. And that's interesting. I don't think that should be in this continent. 312. Guess it doesn't take you direct. Should do. Yeah, it does. Oh no, that's right. The approach is in there, but there isn't. So clean that up. Narrow 3.5 above. No, I would say that is 21 bang on. That's the intercept point. Maybe that's because it's part of the procedure, I can't change it. 3.05, yes. So it's going to be a bit of a tight turn if we don't do something about it. Before I do that, I'm going to pay attention to the crossover. We're looking out the window. Oh look, there's an airport down there. What's that going to be? Big Bear City. How big is it? I wonder if that's included. Supplement, which I haven't got online. I suppose it's a PDF. I could drop it into Avitam, couldn't I? Big Bear City, Lima 35. Oh, we could go there. 5,850 feet. Might be a little bit of a squeeze. Extremely sensitive area. Well, guess where we're going at some point, guys. Let's see if I've got a chance for it. There's no ICAO. It has IFR, so I don't get how it doesn't have... It's got an instrument approach. Runway 26. Turn at the moment. Must did that. WARTH approach. Still relatively high minimums. Straight landing. That's where we're going at some point. To a Big Bear. Steep turn, but look at the difference that Ortho makes. I can't get away from that. I really can't. 40 frames per second, so X-Plane appears to be coping well. I know there's colour matching issues there, but you just don't get that level of detail. That's why I can't give it up. So let's work on making ourselves a little bit of a downwind. If it's 120, then from going to be 210. 210 with 2 miles. Not going to enter hold. Let's try that. zoom, which isn't very well. Well, that's the wrong side, isn't it? Look, so actually go there. No, so. There we go. That's more like it. So we'll sort of vector ourselves to a base leg, just so we don't have to muck about entering a hold, because we'd end up doing a teardrop like we did last time. Bit of a waste. And that should be all right. You can see, no, it is here, it's on this plan. It's the plan. Making our own downwind. 1,000 to go. Checked. Hello, weather. Interesting. It's straight in landing. MDA of 800, which is relatively high. GPS, but it has no qualifying statement there. 1 mile visibility, which is. So let's dial in the barrow. I'll capture decimal 82. Some climb power. So frame rate's dropped a little bit. It's the GPU that's lagging behind, but that's probably to be expected with the clouds. One day we'll all be able to buy graphics cards without having to sell kidneys. Soon. Oh, great. So, destination 3340, we reckon. .6. So, let's plan that, shall we? First, we need the weather. As well call hot start. Of course, we'd actually be telling them ETAs, etc. Which
Hot start flight support.
Just
Jenny speaking. How can we help?
hello Jenny. Well, load that up, do this. Because we think we are going to get to destination at about 70-20 Zulu, so could you arrange for a pickup when we get there? Having a look at the airport, there's sort of only one apron area. Just park up and they can come meet us.
Understood. We'll have that ready for you. Anything else?
No, that's it. Thanks very much.
Always a pleasure. Take care.
So there's only one runway. I think there used to be three in a bit of a triangle. It's 5,900 feet long. It's owned by the county, and it looks like there's a lot of based aircraft there. I think it said the average movements were about 100 a day, which is a huge number. Absolutely huge number. So there's the 1556. I'll try and update it again in a minute. 505. Radar 10. Sky clear. 12, 6. 3015. No TAF, so we don't know what it's forecast to be. It says it's 23 in so I'm just going to may not actually make any difference. Autopilot cabin as well. Start bringing our speed back. The MSA is 11.4. So let's set 12 on VNav. And you got Burbank out to our left. What else am I not seeing over? Well, everything because of the cloud, but there you go. Pilot controlled lighting. LAX Tower, San Francisco Tower, it's all online. For us though, sadly. Nice smooth half bank turn. There's the path, 7-8. Starting our descent. 15 miles out from the VOR and 21 minutes out from the airport. So I quite like these short trips. Obviously you spend more time prepping, but that's just like real life. Do route planning the night before, spend more time prepping on the day than you often do flying, which is going quite a long way. Good, I hope the Ortho holds out. I still have no idea why randomly it hasn't been showing up. But I mean, that you just do not get. And it's only zoom level 16, unless there's an airport nearby. Well, there might. It has to be an ICAO airport, so that might affect like Big Bear. Oh, there we go. Look, changed over. Let's just maintain 7-7. I was trying to keep an eye on it. It seems to catch me out. So just looking actually at the approach chart, you can probably work out the radial one. It's 17 miles, call it 20. 1 degree of small angles, so no, I'm sure you can, but my brain is faltering. We're almost at 300. Update that weather. Do performance. Oh, 3,400. That's a bit different. Call it 32.7. That's still 1556. Well, guess we'll have to go off of that. So we know the runway, the temperature, 0 at 5. Give us a headwind to credit. It's dry. It's 12 degrees. 3015. Lowers the pressure altitude. It's obviously if you go off that, it's going to give you worst case, but aim for something a bit better. And we'll go field length because I like it. See that with the factors gives us ample runway available, so it's through. And you could of course give 0 credit for the wind if you wanted to. It doesn't take into account the crosswind. With that, of course, that speed can get away. So, final approach course, there's no nav aids. Double check the legs. It says 1, 2, 3. There's 1, 2, 0. Maybe there's a magbar difference. Anyway, 5 miles, 5 miles. There's 10. Flap out at that point. So let's put 200 in there. That'll at least give us a warning it's not going to do anything to the speed. And I have a feeling the weather will update, so we should try and get it. 10 miles. Only at 5 we can think about putting gear down at that point. The interceptor point 2100, 120, 123 is close enough. Arrow's 800. Mist is climbing right turn to 31 and direct to the farm. That has to be done. My GPS because the VOR is US. There we go, 1656. It was worth doing again. 207. 16. 015. Those are the key bits we need. Let's review the performance. Perf menu. View 300. It's because I didn't have it active on IDIM. So 3015, 6 uses that further. I didn't. And it's 7, and those V speeds will have changed with a slight tailwind. Oh well. It's almost 90 degrees off, isn't it? It's difference. I think we can take a 10 knot tailwind. Field length 4301 still ample. V speeds, certainly VREF is still the same. But missing out on the view. Like I say, shame about the ortho, but Orbex colour corrects it, but I really don't think the quality of the actual ortho is any better. And it still takes up quite a lot. File size. So we're about to pass through transition.
Descent checklist. Shoulder harness.
Checked.
Passenger signs.
Well, we're passing through transition. We can put those on.
Pressurization.
It's about 400 feet. Close enough.
Fuel quantity and balance.
Oh, it's a bit more this time. It's 80. Still well within.
FMS, landing data, charts.
Checked. Done.
Approach briefing.
Discussed.
VNAV transition flight level.
A bit late, but we've done it.
Descent checklist complete. In range checklist next.
Now, I wonder if the aeroplane will bug speed or... If it doesn't, we'll just extend downwind a little bit fast. Go into vertical speed, reduce the rate of descent. Easy tricks. So, severe cab okay. Why don't we just continue down 1,000 feet? Actually, no, we're going westbound, aren't we? 6. Just keeps away from the ground. Yeah, this ortho is, or is it okay? Just because it's foresty. Those fields don't look too bad. Maybe they are zoom level 16. Doesn't feel as sharp, but it's still better than default because there is just no repeating pattern there. It's brilliant. I'm going to shut up about Ortho. Anybody else who's watching, please say hi. Checked V speeds there. You are set. So if I'd had a better, we'd had a forecast, then we could have expected that potentially it would change. A shaft or a VOR. Did you get it from Jewel? That's the mist. Divine Jewel. That'd be interesting. How's the speed is? Popping back. Let's move a load off. Anyway, slight tailwind. Obviously, if I was going flying for real, I'm keeping an eye on the weather. Obviously, I don't really fly in the States, so I don't actually know the weather. But in the UK, certainly for if you're flying professionally, you've got to keep. And even if you're flying casually, a few days before you go flying, you need to know the weather situation, what's going on, and that'll give you an idea about air masses and things. I can see the field, so you could sort of self-position for visual. Not knowing the airspace though, but there is the airport. And you've got to have an idea of exactly what's going on. In the weather in general. An idea of how it's going to progress throughout the day. And look, we've met our speed constraints, so that's good. 200 there, will that be a bit quick? It should be okay. Overhead the VOR. Porterville traffic. Correction, Porterville traffic. Prefect 99 overhead dual VOR. And positioning downwind. GPS runway 12 Porterville traffic. There's 100. They're all cockpit time.
In range checklist. APU. Started. Altimeters. Reset, cross-checked. Avionics.
Checked.
External lights. On. N1 target. Set.
So that comes up wanting a confirmation. Well, I think it's the APU PAX transition, unless he's waiting for the time. So I'm just actually going to leave it and see if it continues by itself. Big jet downwind. Would have gone for the visual, but been interesting. Another airfield ahead of us, or just a road? Roads, railway lines, perhaps. Grids of field. That's definitely something you don't see in the UK. He's gonna progress to the next step.
APU PAX transition. Veil completed. APU generator. On. CAS.
Checked, clear.
In range checklist complete. Before landing checklist next.
So I'm making calls, but there is nobody about. In airbase outbound, I think. Oh, maybe that isn't that it. Oh no, we can. And it's clear and green, so we'll set the platform 21. Just going to dial the speed back, still coming back, flat 1. Porterville traffic, prefect 99 overhead, Zario, GPS runway 12, Porterville traffic. So that path looks like a bit of a dirty dump. Approach armed. Probably should have done it before we got to the approach fix. RMP approach. Nav EGP. Checked. I think that might be a little bit keen. Missed is 3-1. VGP, so we're not getting off. This doesn't look too bad. Maybe the tailwind is. Hopefully that will back. Porterville traffic, prefect 99 overhead. Honolulu runway 51.
Before landing checklist. Landing gear lever. Down indicating. No steer. Arm centered clear. Anti-skid. Armed tested. Passenger signs. On. Wing cowl anti-ice.
Not required.
Continuous ignition. On. Thrust reversers. Armed. Spoilers. Stowed auto. Flaps. Set. CAS.
Checked, clear. Well, rev armed, ignition AB.
Before landing checklist complete. After landing checklist next.
1000.
So just bringing the speed back, we should be stable by 500, which I think is a reasonable landing gate. And you can see the VATSIM to the right. As you can see, pretty much all crosswind now. Feels like it's sinking a little.
Approaching minimums.
Which is 363, even though it's 800.
Minimums.
You look good, continue. Not sure if that's a little bit low or not. Feels a bit flat. Difficult to tell if that's a white and a red. Wrong glide path. Could be wrong. I have been wrong before.
100.
No, we're too high.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Airplane bounce. Let's go down to the end. Vacate left, that was pretty poor. Just a little bit flat, didn't hold it off. Okay, no one died. It was a relatively smooth bounce, I think. Just hold the attitude. Lower the nose, a touch. The airplane will settle down quite happily. Have to look at the replay to see if the spoilers, etc. That could leave you in an interesting position.
After landing checklist. Landing, pulse, recog lights. Off. Anti-collision lights. Off. Continuous ignition. Off. Windshield heat.
Porterville traffic,
Off.
route 99 runway
Probes.
vacated.
Off. Wing anti-ice. Off. Cowl anti-ice.
So this airport also needs a little bit of work, cows.
Spoilers. Stowed. Flaps. 0. ATC
There's a forest fire
TCAS.
base here.
Alt on. Radar mode. Standby. After landing checklist complete. Engine shutdown checklist next.
Up to the BO here. The hangars are difficult to get realistically. There is a domed one, it's not this thick. We'll just park outside somewhere. So I've done a little bit of work on the markings and things here. But they still need parking spots, etc. I think it's a little bit better than it. Set.
Engine shutdown checklist. Taxi lights. Off. Parking brake. Set. Reverse thrust. Stowed. Generators 1 and 2.
It's me.
Off. Engine 2 shut down. Fuel boost pumps. Off. Fuel system.
Right, low pressure.
Engine 1 shut down. Check ITT below 350 degrees Celsius.
Checked.
Anti-ice. Off. 14th stage. Off. Beacon. Off. No steer. Off. ATC TCAS. Standby 0. Parking brake if chocked.
We'll leave it on for the moment.
Passenger signs. Off. Cabin differential. 0 psi. Engine shutdown checklist complete. Securing checklist next.
So, stats said we landed 41300. Wasn't great, but I don't think it was nice. Easy approach. With the departure look. Departure didn't look too bad. Arguably actually could have gone straight ahead a bit longer to get around the... There's another airport and just to get around the... say the areas where people live, or inhabited areas. Pop that off. Say thanks very much to the packs. There is a patch of grass there, it's a bit right.
The airport taxi's here. Thank you, Captain. Great flight as always. Well, I'll see you next time.
Bye. Shame we don't have actual people getting off. These might still be a bit hot, so you check them before you do that. We do that one? Yes! Great cheating.
Secure and checklist. Emergency lights.
Off.
AC DC utility switch.
In and off.
Headsets. Thrust reversers.
Disarmed.
Chocks.
In.
Parking brake.
Off.
Hydraulic pumps.
Off.
Nav lights. Logo light.
Nav lights on.
APU generator.
As is that.
APU start stop.
As is that.
Packs. LCV 10th stage isolation valve.
Off.
APU power fuel. ICAS APU gauge. Battery master. Cockpit refuel panel.
Off.
Service lights. Pins and covers.
In.
Securing checklist complete.
There's our aeroplane shut down. Wonderful. So, Atlanta we can close. Disconnect from the VATSIM. Have a look at that replay, shall we? Yeah, just a bit of a bounce and a thump. Thought that was quite a nice recovery. Have a look, see what the speed brakes did. Just needed to round out a bit. I didn't want to make it aggressive. Like, but no, they stayed out. Would have just felt like a bit of a thump. Tika, is that how I say it? Thanks very much for the sub. Hope you enjoyed. Landing was not particularly professional. But that was quite a nice flight, and this is not a bad little airport, which I've done a little bit of tidying up on, but there's still a huge, loads more work to do, which I don't know if I'll get around to. It's finding the time to do it, to be honest. There we are, taxiing around, and you can see somebody's placed a load of little hangars. It's a shame about the grass and stuff. It doesn't really fit. You almost want to not have that. The assets need a little bit of improvement, but these are the only default ones you've got. I could use plenty of other assets, but then it can't go on the gateway, which is a bit of a waste. It needs a little bit of a runway shoulder. Explain 12 customized. See, I started to add a little bit of this ramp, but the apron was one big piece of tarmac, which is not the best way of doing things. This is a little bit too big. Those are sort of okay. There's a little restaurant there, which is just a rubbish way of trying to depict that. But as airports go, I'd like to live next to this place and have my own aeroplane there. I don't know about you guys, but I'd certainly have a sort of warrior living here with a bit of hangarage and be able to get places. This would have been, I think, broke down, this would have been about a 5.5, maybe four, almost 5 hour drive that we went to got. Of course we did it in no time at all, even with the setup and everything else. Of course it cost a bit more. Even more if anybody wants to buy me one of these. I suppose it's not really realistic, is it? You need a single pilot jet. But I'd take one of these, train up some buddies. Flying all around the USA. Don't need to have 100 movements a day. I showed the shame that these aren't modular, that you can't cut bits off, shrink them. That was a bit aggressive. Bit of a marshaller in reality, but I could have gone a little bit further, like I say. There we are, there's our nice jet. The shape has grown on me. I thought it used to be quite stubby, but now, like so. Let's get back in. Pop the shades down because we're going to leave her here, and well, at least tomorrow we'll probably be doing some European flying. It's the weekend, and I'm at home. So make or have breakfast. That clipping's still there. And then we'll take the one I think that we left at Newcastle. So the airplane's secure. Chocks and pins are in. And it's only 5:30, so brilliant. Bit of time to make some dinner. I suppose you wouldn't send a car, would you? You'd walk in, the car would be waiting outside. Hey ho. Not everything is perfect. See you later, Jenny. Thanks for watching, friends. Take care, look after yourselves, and until next time, bye for now.